Okay, y'all, we are back here with another episode, and we're coming in hot this time because we have been pre-gaming for this episode. We are calling it the Riz 101. It's male version. You got me, Lily Lavender, and Jaybird as your host, and we brought back Gage and Shock because they are always so charming when they are on this episode. Now, because this is the male version, you may not hear a lot from me. I'm going to kick over this mic to the rest of them. Shock.
She says this, but we've all had an experience where we've laid down some game and she's either had witnessed to such things or was a victim of other ones. So
co-defended more like.
So, like, we've all, pretty much all of us in this room has had an experience of seeing what we're either capable of. Not that I'm anything to brag about, but, like, I'm more of a guy that, like, yeah, I know, I've heard you. I said it. I'm more of a guy that throws things at the wall to see what sticks. So, like, we're going to talk about different game face modes and stuff that we try on a regular basis. But
I'll comment here and there.
Oh, yeah, you will. Yeah. I'm sure you will.
So we were talking about it earlier. Like I said, we've pre-gamed. We're kind of amped up for this episode.
Ready.
Yeah. So we were discussing different tactics that we do when we're out and about, and things that work and things that don't. So we've discussed that. I'm an initiator, right? Like if we're in a crowded room, I get.
Yeah.
He dives in head first without thinking. He just goes.
I like the idea of cliff diving is exciting to me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Like if I and it'll start as something as simple as like if I can see somebody from across the room and I can wink and she'll either blush or she'll keep full eye contact with me. That's a win for me.
I call that just already being drunk.
I feel I have to always be drunk. I mean, granted. I probably had a shot or two before I even do that.
Not you. I'm referencing the females when they get pink and you mistake that for blushing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Already got something to say. There we go.
I've done it sober too.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. We was just talking about it. Yeah, we was just talking about it earlier. I had seen this gorgeous blonde girl who happens to be a cop, like in law enforcement, and little bitty. She does not look like she'd be in law enforcement. She had really good figure. She was little bitty. She's probably about like 5'6".
What does that mean, though?
I'm trying to paint a scene. I'm trying to let you know why, like, what starstruck me in this situation.
But you say she doesn't look like she would be in law enforcement.
But she is. That's what. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So I walk in the gas station. She's with everybody. Like there's a lot of law enforcement there. Naturally, I'm usually nervous in those situations, but all of a sudden, I was just okay with it. Like, I look around, I look off, I see her, and I look off again. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was like, all of a sudden, going to jail doesn't sound so bad. So I'm thinking, and there's a point in time where I stop thinking, and it happens all the time. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where I just walk up to this girl, and in the crowd, like in the middle, and I was just like, I don't know who you're looking for or what they done, but it's me. And then I stick my hands up like I'm getting ready to get cuffed, and she just like blushes really bad. Like, won't even look at me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a win.
It is a win.
Yeah. So
it is a win.
I'm not saying that's like Riz game. I'm just saying cliff diving sounds exciting to me.
Yeah, that just shows. But I mean, the worst thing, she puts the handcuffs on you in mistaken identity. I mean,
and then I get and
you got a better story.
I got a cool story.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just stuck at that point.
Yeah.
And then she stuck with me for at least 10 minutes before we
before anything, because paperwork.
And if I play my cards right, I can bullshit for a good 30. She won't, like, I can throw in a conversation and then be like, you know what, you don't want to do this.
You going from the back seat to the front seat.
Oh, yeah. I had a game plan.
Okay, that's fair. Well, see, I am not the cliff diving type at all. I am not a cliff diver. I am what you call a patient. I don't know, however you want to factor it. I'll sit there.
He likes to see if it'll play out correctly.
Yeah, I'll sit there and I'll watch the room, and if I see somebody who, is attractive and has a nice smile, I'll look her way. But I also not make a move. Now, if she's like a seat next to me and she's talking, and I hear something she says, and I'm like, how many drinks in do I think she's in before I say something? We'll see. But once she says something and I know an answer to it, or I'm like, well, maybe you just need to do this. And this goes off of what she says. Now I'm being patient, but I'm also now putting my name in the ring. Now she looks over and she could either brush me off and be like, or she can be like, so is that what you really think? And then I'm in there like swimwear.
I've seen this firsthand. He's very meticulous.
I have too.
Yeah, he's very meticulous on how he jumps into conversation.
Of course, it's like double dutch.
And I think we've listened to him long enough to know that like once he starts talking, he can control the room. This is really, really good. He won't admit that he's got this talent, but I've seen him firsthand. Like he'll say one word here, he'll laugh, and then all of a sudden they want more of his.
Yeah, they want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, and intelligence will drive a good conversation. If you don't know what you're talking about,
yeah, then people will look at you like you don't know what you're talking about. No, I pride myself. Like I said, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I know a little bit about a lot of things. So I got enough to get my foot in the door. Now I'm going to sit there and try and tell someone that I know more than them. No, I want them to teach me. More ways than one. So, yeah, obviously. So that's where it goes. And that's how I started.
Honestly, I think that's a flex when you're in a conversation and you're like, oh, man, that's interesting. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, and that's
and then they want to talk.
Of
People
course.
want to, if they're knowledgeable about something, if they have the ability to hold that conversation, they'll go forward. They want to be heard. Everybody.
I mean,
Like
it's a
men,
natural thing for somebody to want to teach, somebody else, especially if
we talk about game and all of that. That's what it is. My game and the thing that it is that when someone genuinely knows you're listening, they'll give you the world.
Yeah.
They'll tell you something they shouldn't tell. By the end of it, they're like, I'm going to tell you something I never told anybody else. You know how many times I've seen a woman say something to me and then cover her mouth like she tried to put the words back in? Mm-hmm. Because you're listening and you're engaging and she's just feeling, I could tell you, and next thing you know, she's telling you everything. And
Okay, wait a second. Now I got a question. I got a question. So, what we're referring to, is it just at a bar or has it been somewhere else?
I've done it anywhere.
I was in a gas station.
I was in a church.
Oh, you were in church?
What do you mean?
You were in church?
Yeah, I'm in the church. And again,
They always say I'm a good girl from church.
Well, we're sitting in the pew, and I'm like, it's my grandmother used to go to this church, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like looking around, and I'm like, and this lovely younger woman was sitting next to me, and she's like, "Are you new here?" And I'm like, "Kinda. I've not been here since I was a kid." And she's like, you don't seem like you're, how long ago was that? I was like, probably 30 years, and she was like, you don't seem that old. How old are you? And just like that.
Granted, he usually wins in these conversations a lot. I've seen
because of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
This man looks young, and he's
Thankfully.
Okay, wait a second. Me and Shock are the same age. And we actually use the same game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've actually had experiences.
Playing that one.
I've actually had experiences outside of establishments. Like we'll be waiting in line, and he'll look up and he'll start singing random lyrics to Boys to Men.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden women are just like, "Oh, you're not that old. There's no way." And like all of a sudden they're trapped. They just marinate in that bullshit.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
he'll talk and he'll sing.
It is what it is.
He does it every time.
You look, rule number one of anybody who's speaking to people: know your audience.
Yes.
Know your audience.
Yes.
No matter what game you're in, no matter what business you're in, no what job you do, know your audience. So if I'm playing to a bar and we're standing outside and there's a bunch of ladies and we're talking music and I'm like, remember back in the day when, Boys to Men sang this? And they're like,
ooh.
What you don't know is those people are listening.
Yeah.
Whether they are on purpose or accidental, they're listening. So when they hear it, they're like, oh, no, you're not talking about that. And that's how it goes. Yeah. And next thing you know, you're next to 4 people. And that's how that was.
I know. I remember. All of a sudden we went in there with no women and left with like 8.
A few.
It was a lot.
Yeah, a few.
And that was
probably could have left with the bartenders too if we'd have played a card.
You could have. All right. I'm gonna paint this picture, and this is good. So confidence will take you places. I don't care what
100%.
anybody says.
It's confidence and conversation.
Fair.
And I'll agree with that, and this story will support that.
Both of those.
You're such a jerk, man. Anyway, so here's what happened. I get a phone call the night. This is a 2-night span. I get a phone call from one of my buddies, and they were like, "Oh, you got to come down here. The bartenders are gorgeous. The women here are just fantastic. You gotta come and have a drink down here." So me and my other buddy was like, "Bet." So this guy right here did not make it on night one.
Did not.
So he was just he had an early night.
Yes.
We went out. And my buddy's sitting at the bar, and he was like, "You gotta check out this bartender. She's gorgeous. She's good looking, man." And I was like, "You say anything to her yet?" And he was like, "No, I just ordered drinks." And she comes back up to us, and I was like, "How you doing, darling?" And she looks at me, and she starts blushing. She instantly starts melting. And my buddy looks at me, and he's like, "You son of a bitch!" and he's already lit at that point. And so he was upset that I have no problem having initiating this conversation. All right, fast forward to the next night. He's here. Like, Shock is here with us. We're walking inside, and I was like, "Shock, man, you got to check out this bartender. She's gorgeous." I was hitting her up yesterday. I was like, "Can't wait to see how this conversation comes up." So she comes up to the table. I was like, "How you doing, babe?" And she looks at me, and she starts blushing or whatever, and then looks over at Shock, and Shock's like, "What's up, ma?" And then she forgot about me. Never said a word to me the rest of the night. I was like, "You son of a bitch."
Again.
And this is what they do constantly.
Yeah, look, know your audience. We're in a town we've never been to. Last night she was all about the Southern charm. Tonight she about to be about that New York vibe. It's just the way.
Okay. So I've had. Oh my God. So I've had experience with all three of these people right here, and Shock is not shy in the slightest.
Not at all.
So Jaybird is not shy either. He's usually in it first. Gage over here plays the shy card at first.
Yeah, I mean, I eventually open up more and more. I shy, kind of quiet, reading the room, listening, gauging the situation.
Hey, play the script.
I mean, some people can just, like you hop in, start a conversation. I build up to it more than less, but
Have you ever used pickup lines? Or you're just like, I'm gonna see if this works?
I'm more of a situational, type of person. Like, not something I have planned, but it's just more casual, it just comes. I mean, because really, if you're in that situation, you're out, you're trying to have a good time. If you have a friend with you, it makes the whole, area, a lot easier to read.
Women are important in anything when you're going into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for me, I'm all about saying some dumb shit. Like, if I can make you blush or be like, "Oh, what the hell was that?" That's my favorite. There's nothing wrong with being the funny man in the room. I'm not always the funniest, but I'll say some dumb shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so how hard is it for y'all to come up with a pickup line or think of what your next move is, depending on what you're doing or looking for at that?
So one of my favorite actors is always gonna be Ryan Reynolds. And it's everybody loves Ryan Reynolds because most women love Ryan Reynolds obviously because it's an 8-pack and all this other shit. But
that's not why I love him.
But you ever listen to his quips and they're on point. Like he'll end up in a conversation. My favorite's Deadpool where these two where him and that chick is just arguing back and forth.
Yeah.
And they just go.
Yeah.
And they're talking about
it's him. I'm pretty sure. That's his own stuff.
It is his own stuff. My favorite is going to be Van Wilder because he's just like that. He doesn't have to take the time to think of anything.
Yeah, well, and mine was Waiting. I love Waiting. They're talking about the game. Like he's not even talking to women throughout that, in those situations. But he is. Yeah.
Okay, so you're using Ryan Reynolds.
Is this example? But I feel like if you have a quip or something to add to a conversation, even if they're not expecting it and you throw them off guard, anytime you throw somebody off their tracks and they have to think about what to say next, that's a win. That's a flex. I do it, and my strengths is dumb shit. Whatever comes off. Half the time I say shit and I don't even realize it. Okay, I'll give you an example.
So you're looking for a laugh or...
I'm looking for a laugh or a holy shit, you just said that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, we just got out of Christmas. Mm-hmm. And this girl that I ain't gonna lie that I talk to, I flirt with on a regular basis, came up to me. And I was like, "Hey, babe," I was like, "What'd you get me for Christmas?" And she looked at me and she's like, "Well, what'd you want?" I was like, "Honestly," I was like, "Anything that you give me to unwrap, play with, and then maybe snack on later, I'll be all excited about it." And
that's it. I mean,
honestly,
that's awesome. Yeah.
It was, but that was it was word vomit. In my head, I think about random shit to say, and I'm like, that would be funny if somebody said it. But in my head, I was like, I'll never say that until it's too late. It just falls out. I'm like,
said
damn it.
It's out there now.
Well, and she,
Didn't even think about it.
well, I didn't even think about it. It just spewed out. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to, and that's 90% of my conversations.
That's why it works.
But I said it, and she looked, she blushed, and she was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Yeah, like we'll see what happens there." Yeah, but and some of them are natural. I ain't gonna lie. I'll say some shit like they'll be like, "Oh my god," and I'll look at them and be like, "No, babe." I was like, "God wouldn't look at you the way I do." That's one of my favorite ones. Like it's just like little things, little quips here and there. That stuff you see you'll always end up in a situation where somebody's like Jesus Christ, or I'll be like, "Oh my God," or "Holy fuck," and then I can find a little quip just on the reservoir. Damn, I hope there's not a whole lot of people listening to this episode because it's probably hilarious. But I say that all the time, or I'll catch myself staring at if we're talking about it's a flex in a conversation if you can hold somebody's gaze, right?
Yeah.
If you're confident and she's confident and you can trap somebody in a conversation and look straight in their eyes and don't break away, be confident, and that's a flex all by itself. Here's where I still shit from comedians. We were talking about that earlier. I still pick up lines of weird stuff from comedians. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. But one of my comedians, he'll talk and he'll be like, "Listen, if you're in a conversation and you trap them in your gaze, but you're not really listening to the conversation, there's one or two things you can do. You can admit, like, listen, I wasn't paying attention, or you could say something dumb and just be like, oh man, I'm sorry, darling. I was distracted by the sound of your voice. I was distracted by the look in your eye. I couldn't hold it. And that shit just works sometimes. Like, sometimes. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm ADD, so holding a conversation, even if I'm staring, like, it's hard. It's hard now. Like, I mean, the conversation. Yeah. Don't get too excited.
Pause.
I'm a good skimmer. Stop. A good skimmer.
What's that?
What's a skimmer?
Skimmer. You just go through and you just pick up little things and you can just put the rest together yourself. I like that. That's just how you go with the flow. I mean, even if you are, captured, by the gaze, you gotta pay attention to a little bit. Get the key details. Then you just follow along still.
Okay.
Skimmer. I'm quick, and that's what saves me at the end of the day. I'm quick. The moment the words come out of your mouth, I can think of something like that fast, and I can think of two things. I can probably think of something inappropriate or appropriate, or depending on where we at. But that's it. I'm that fast. Like somebody say something, anybody. I'm in a conversation and anybody says anything, I got something immediately. It's just the way. It's just easier when you're talking to a female because it's an eezier, more of a let things go type of conversation.
Just probably more quick witted, and I'd probably take a second. Y'all are quick with it.
Well, and that's something and you're a very, very intelligent man. I consider you an intelligent man.
Okay.
And I mean, sorry, I think that sounded more of an insult, but like it did. The way I said that. But there's something to be had about knowing what you're talking about and being a jack of all trades. Like if you know different things and you can have conversations and hold with the conversation, that's a flex.
It's a little bigger than that to me. Confidence it's one thing to talk about something. It's to confidently be talking about something to where people hear you talk about it, and that goes back to what you're saying about me. And that when I'm talking, I want to bring. Yeah, I'm talking to you, but I want them all in here. Bring it. And that's me. I'm the dude. I'm the pastor. Mm-hmm. Like I want them all at the pulpit listening.
There's a tone.
Yeah, like
in your voice, a tone you set. It's enough to everybody hears it.
I have a
when they start making,
and I have an everybody finna hear me tone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's where we differ. Yeah. So you're subtle, work your way into a huge crowd. Yeah. I am more of an explosion. I want to jump in the big of the crowd and pull you away from the herd. Yeah. Like I want to have my one-on-one time with you because I can win. But I'll do the shock and awe at first to get you there.
But if I take the crowd, then I'm going to make them move on and you going to stay there. See,
I ain't going to say that I haven't lost in this situation.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying. In the way we're talking about how we do this, this is what I'm saying. My thing is to bring everybody in and then let you know you're the only one that I want to talk to. Yeah. I got all these people listening to me, but you're the only one I want to talk to.
Dang, that smooth thing. I don't even... Damn it. That was
but
good.
That's good. That was good. That's it. That's why you bring it to the masses. Because you want to make somebody, again, the number one thing is to make someone feel important. Feel like the only person in the room. How better to feel somebody in the room when you have everybody's attention and then you slowly just let everybody dissipate and be like, I brought
then
all these people together.
all of a
just
sudden,
like
in the
you
middle of
were.
a huge crowd,
Yeah.
you were the one from me.
Yeah,
See, we were talking about this on the last episode with beefcakes and sugar tits.
Yeah.
So,
So-
and sugar. Okay.
FYI, fast forward into the future, we will do another episode. It's gonna be men versus women. Please stay tuned for these next few episodes because they are coming, and you guys will have your arguments against
beefcake and sugar tits.
Yes, and it's gonna be a blast.
So yeah,
we're all the sugar tits.
no sugar tits. So this should be interesting.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, not in the bibiblical sense, but yeah, I think I know sugar tits.
There's nothing biblical about these next few episodes.
Heard that.
Cakes and sugar tits.
see?
Yes, you do. I told you who it was.
Well, this is gonna be wonderful. It's a great
It
topic.
was our literal last episode.
Might want to get another mic.
Oh, we're working on the
We're
equipment
working on
stuff. Well, like, yeah.
I'm just saying for that one.
I know.
There be y'all yelling in that one. No.
I'll stop you right there.
Yeah, we're gonna
One of them will take Mac. He's like, no, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, because we were talking about how we were trying to get out of specific situations. And one of the things that catches us off guard, or we know that they're different, is when they make us feel like we are important.
They're one of a kind.
Yes.
Problem is with this new generation. We were discussing this earlier. Is it's not reciprocated.
No, and I get that, but that's usually with the younger crowd, the new generation coming in. It's a little different. They have different priorities. They're going through different situations in life, and
It's a different world.
Not to hound on the younger generations, and we do it all the time. Of
course
Fucking hound them. Should have had a lot more switches picked out for you when you were growing up.
Oh, man.
Okay.
people who could deal with shit and others who cannot.
So me and a friend of mine, we were all at work, and a buddy of mine came up and he's like, "Oh man, guy's got the Riz." He's talking about me.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, he's got Riz. He's got Riz. He talk to anybody." He's like, he's got women asking about him on his days off, shit like that. And I don't consider myself as somebody that has game. I really don't. Like when I say I throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, I'm that guy. I just play around until shit works. But what I found in this generation that works for me, and somebody like laid it out for me not too long ago, same age as me, and he looked at me and he said, you know, me and my old lady, we've been together for probably decades now. Mm-hmm. And he said, I probably had Tinder on my account for maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, fuck this, I ain't doing it. Because he's my age, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I've been on Tinder for a week, and I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like, I don't do...
Never even tried.
It's not worth it. It really isn't.
Never even tried.
So for me, I feel I am confident knowing that I can do something. It's like when you're in the room, I can do something that nobody else can do. I can
still do it
I can. It just doesn't
confidently.
See, this is why it doesn't work. So, like in the mix of different situations, I can actually walk up to somebody I don't even know and strike up a conversation. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But like, I had the confidence to come out and be like, "Dang, like you look good, girl." Like, and then and just play. I don't really say shit like that.
Yeah.
But I'll say something to like.
You say something.
But I can do that in the middle of a crowd. I can do that one-on-one, and it's just us. I can do those things. Where some of these guys can't even keep eye contact. Yeah, they can't keep eye contact with their boss or their coworkers.
Much less a woman.
Less a random woman they've never met.
Right.
So I think that's where the younger generations. So we have traded a lot of things for social media and the internet and all this other stuff. Actual human social interactions. Like you can't. Being able to go out of your way and say something to somebody you've never met before obliterates the younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they can't do it. Like, and even my son. So my son, sorry, I started him early.
You should.
First thing I done with my son, I was like, "Hey, bud, you're gonna have to go." I was like, "Wink at that waitress. Look, looks like she's having a bad day. Wink at her. Just tell her she looks pretty today." And when he was little. Fearless. He had no problem. He would do it, and he would be like, "I hope you have a better day, babe." And then the waitress would just blush and flush out because, like, a 5-year-old, really?
Yeah.
And then turn around, and he would just laugh. He won't do it anymore, though. He's 13. He's like,
oh no, it's different now.
Yeah, it's different.
He got skin in the game now. It's getting real.
the what ifs come out all the time. It's like, oh, what if she reacts? No. So I think that's a big flex nowadays, and I think these conversations need to be had.
And to what you're saying, I think that's more of where we are better. We have that 5-year-old still in us.
Oh yeah.
We like, what can you do to me? If I walk into a room and I see a beautiful woman and I go up to talk to her, what is the worst she can say? No, I don't want to talk to you. Then what's the problem? Like, why wouldn't I go approach her?
You're straightforward.
There's no such thing as an unapproachable woman.
Well, not only that literal 3 seconds, of getting rejected, that 3 seconds, that's it.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Pull the Band-Aid off. It's not like she's going to say your mother's, like she's not going to break my heart or kill my pride or anything. Yeah. All she can say is no. And I think that is something that is important to me, especially like that belief in myself. Like, I'm confident enough in who I am as a person, not my looks or anything, in who I am as a person, to go and talk to a stranger and say, hello, how you doing? Mm-hmm. Not a ma, what's up, and boo thing and all that. No, I don't. I save that for the young ones, actually, because they'll pick up to that faster. No. They don't want you to come to them and say, hello, how you doing? What's going on in your life? They don't want to hear that shit.
You want to see these younger generations just shake to no end. Yeah. Man. Like, they almost, like, they're in shock if you just randomly, like, just come up and say, hey.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted my kids to have their first job in the customer service industry. So my oldest son, he's 23, but he's socially awkward. He cannot hold a conversation with people. Well, before he could not hold a conversation with people. He can now because I started him off that way, knowing full well that he's socially awkward. Right. Now my second son is a complete social butterfly. He is just like his mama. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have to be in customer service, but I thought it was the best way for him to develop certain skills to take with him later on. Right. But man, my older son has no pickup game. My other son, my other son definitely has pickup game.
What is pickup game?
It's the ability to talk to people without any issue. Yes. It doesn't have to be women. There's a lot of people out there that are bisexual.
No, I mean, as far as when we say pickup game.
Yeah, so inevitably, if we're thinking pickup game, we're actually thinking picking up a date randomly.
Yeah,
right?
Male, female,
and it could be male or female. Exactly.
But the cold hard fact is, it's stuff that I've heard when I was a kid, man. Even my pops would look at me and he's like, "Listen, man, we'll just say words, just have a conversation." But he would be like, "I've seen more men talk their way out of pussy than in it," and that's a true statement.
100%.
Yeah, when you see
more is less.
When you see something,
you never heard it say it like that.
You never heard it say it. Oh, yeah. We'll bring something to the table. All of a sudden, no. So it's legit. When you see somebody that's got random women coming out and having conversations with them all the time, it's because they've tried with that person. Mm-hmm. And I know a whole lot of people, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably one of them, that'll go into a random location, and if that's my goal, to go have conversations with beautiful women, I will start off with the most beautiful woman in the bar, or in the location, wherever we're at. I'll start off with the most beautiful one and just work my way down. One of them has...
Sounds so bad, but
You get the theory.
No. Like, you can fish with one line or you can cast a net.
Again, when we talk about situations, sometimes you walk up, you don't know the woman from Adam, and the woman doesn't know you from Adam. Now, sometimes you have a jersey on, and and like she'll take you because you're wearing what you're wearing.
Ooh, we did talk about this in the previous episode.
I had a Chargers jersey on at the beach, and we're sitting at the bar, and we're just talking, and the woman sees the jersey and instantly lifts up her shirt to show me a tattoo of the football team on her side. Now, as she's lifting up her shirt, obviously I'm seeing more than the tattoo. Yeah. And so is everybody else, though. So it ain't like she just did it for me, but she just did it because she showed the appreciation for the jersey.
So much side move. I was there. Yeah. Like, it was a great day for me. Yeah. It was a great day for him. Yeah. There's only one person that was disappointed.
And he was only mad because he didn't get a bucket of rum. The show was fine. What what he was mad about is that I got a free bucket of rum and the show.
I got photos of this man sipping out of his bucket.
Yeah, looking off into the like, is this what life's about? Yes, it is.
It's legit. It's got a handle on it. You hold it
Yeah.
up, and he would have to hold it with two hands.
Two-handed. It was literally a rum bucket. I felt like a pirate.
And
I'm not gonna say I did, but
Holy
like,
shit, she was hot.
she was hot. And like I said, just walking up, she didn't know me, I didn't know her. Literally, she saw him first. He was in front of me, actually. He got his rum first. And then I got mine. Not Jaybird, our other friend. He got his rum first. And then I got mine, and she was like, fuck yeah. And it was all up in the air.
Yeah.
Free rum, sideshow.
If we're being totally honest, like, Shock really stole everybody. Like, we were like really breaking it down. Yeah.
But I didn't steal. Because see, there's another part of this. We're a team. Like he said, the night before, he was there. Yeah. So now, look, not only do I bring myself to the table, I bring these motherfuckers with me. Yeah. So yeah, so now it's like he said, Southern Charm one night, and then I got... Now, if we're out, nobody's ever going to put us together and be like, y'all two came in the same, car, unless we tell them. So, like I said, he said what he said the night before. I said what I said that night. Like I said, if we had played our cards right, we could have left with all the bartenders in there.
Yeah.
Because we'd have been like, all right, where y'all going? What y'all do here? Where's the party at?
It's always
I'm bringing.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so.
Fun thing about that night is we had no intentions, no expectations about
And
how
yet
that
we
night
did
was
not
going.
end up going back to where we started.
And no, we did not. We ended up. That was actually a really nice house.
Yeah, well, even before that, the other bar we went to where we darts and pool and all of that was being.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, I'm saying,
We played darts, we played pool, and there's a lot of people trying to shark me. We ended up. I left with money that night.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
talked to like 3 people about one of them being a Vietnam vet and this woman who had I was all over the place. So I'm just saying, you know your team when you're going somewhere.
Yes.
When we talk about charisma can be, or riz, or game, or whatever you call it. Game has many definitions. And when you got 4 cats in a room, one of them's a singer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Dude was singing, and the chick was like, I think he's Italian. And I'm like, no, the dude's not Italian. He comes from where we come from. He ain't Italian. She was like, I think he's Italian.
You know who we're talking about.
Yeah. We'll discuss.
Yeah, well, yeah. But so that was one part of the game. Next game was our shy friend, who's not shy. He's like a bull in a china shop. But he says he's like Ferdinand, if you know what that means. Yeah, I'm shy. I'm this. So, again, when you have a team, you play off each other. So there was these ladies, and he was like, let's go talk to him. And he was like, well, and I was like, what? He was like, I'm shy. I was like, I'm not. And we walked over there. But look how the story circles back around. Those are the same ladies that we was standing outside talking about Boys to Men lyrics with when we started at the bar.
Yeah, 5.
So you got something to lead on.
It was legit 5 beautiful women that
Yes.
started off with Boys to Men, and we ended up, and not saying that anything crazy happened, but we ended up drinking all of their wine at their house.
And staying at their house.
Like we had a
just
blast.
hanging out.
Just hanging out. It was, and like we didn't have any intentions when we went there either. Like
they invited us.
Yeah.
Like we left there. Like, it's the end of the night. They were like, come with us to this other bar. Let's hang out. After that, we go to that bar. Then after that, we go back. Then let's go back to the house. It's like, nobody's in here.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But we
And that's our first time hanging out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's genuine. It's all of us playing off each other who have never played off each other. It's not like we walked in this night with a game plan. Yeah. We just went out freestyling. Like, we're going to see how this go.
Yeah. We had a blast. Anything could have happened that night, and I ain't gonna lie, some of the crazy shit.
Yeah, it did happen, and that's it.
So, like, one of these days, we should all go out somewhere and try this out.
I'm DD.
Yeah, you're DD.
I'm DD. I got y'all.
Hey, look.
Yeah, we'll do it by state too. We'll be like, bar shifts and bullshit, take over New Orleans.
Yes.
I haven't been to New Orleans in like 8 years.
I've never been.
Love it. That's all you had to say. Say that. We can make this. We can put this show on the road next month.
I'm
off.
When I come back from my cruise.
Her.
Gage too.
FYI, if you want to see this happen, we will take donations for this trip.
Yes, we will take donations for this trip.
The reason we came up with this episode, Lily Lavender and I, we assumed that that we've met some goofy looking bartenders, men bartenders.
Yeah.
There's I don't like when I say I don't consider myself no prize. If you really look at me, a lot of people would think I was a biker or like a Puerto Rican or a cholo, like a Mexican gangster, depending on how much my tan's working at that time.
Okay, I was about to say right now it's not working.
Yeah,
it's not working
It's
right
winter
now.
time right now. I look like a biker. I really do. Like
Gotcha,
I look like I'm ready to
And I look white.
Yeah. So,
I'm not. See, this is why again, we're not.
Y'all shut up.
anyway, so
Lily, lavender, look white. No, all right, we're done with that. Off that conversation.
Right. Well, so and
That's Riz though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's for the next episode. You see what that is?
Right.
Yes, you do.
we already know where this conversation's gonna go. Anyway, but that being said, you, as a bartender or a server, like if you're a dude, you gotta have some kind of pickup game. You gotta have riz. You gotta have the ability to talk to random people and say some dumb shit for it to work out. And I feel like I ain't gonna lie, being in I ain't gonna lie, I've worked in back of house. And the shit that you say in back of houses are like random people that you see.
Yeah.
It's a wonder all of us haven't been to HR at some point.
I mean, I have been to HR over. Not there, but in places I have been.
Oh God, I have too.
Because I am somebody in the back of the house who, and anyone, especially Jaber, can attest to this. I lets it fly. Like, I do not care. And when I say that, some people say they don't care. I don't care because it is. I like my co-workers to understand one thing about me. I'll do anything for you. If I know that you the type of worker that busts his ass or her ass and does everything, I'll take the bullets.
I can attest to this.
I'll take the bullets.
I've worked with him in back of house well before I started bartending. Yeah. And honestly, there's a point in time where they used to think that the whole back of house was gay.
Was homo.
Yeah. Like legit. Like everybody was like.
I mean, if you can't show your coworkers some love, what we do?
You're in close quarters all the time.
Yeah.
Like we're grinding, we're touching.
Yeah.
Like
ass grabbing.
Yeah.
I mean, like behind, you say it constantly for a reason, I mean.
Yeah,
anyway,
you'll come up behind somebody and be like behind, and they'll be like,
and linger for a minute. Yeah, linger for a minute.
I'm kind of person every time every time you say behind, I don't know if you're gonna touch me or not. I'm like, just keep it that way.
I say, okay, wait a second.
Be consistent.
No, I say don't tempt me with a good time, and that's what brought me into HR.
All that for me.
No. This was long before I met you. Yeah, this was long before I met you when I started off in the kitchen.
HR offices, that's wrong. Yeah, obviously
She got more lawsuits than all of us.
Remember, Lily just told us we the same age, so I would assume by that she been in some, like I've been in some shit.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Now I started off in the kitchen.
Are you telling me that this don't look like trouble walking in? If you work with this in the back of the house, you wouldn't be in trouble?
I'm sweating now.
All right, hurt me. And this just a podcast. We just see it talking shit. Imagine. Yeah.
We're 2 shots in. Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Hey, man. Listen.
Okay.
But then again, when y'all said this was about game, this is all game. Game is
about
not
game.
specific to anything. This is why I say this, and this is what I live by. I play the game of life.
Yeah.
And I know there are people in this world who are like, it's not a game, it's real. That's how you die of a heart attack. Because you take it so seriously. I take it seriously. Trust me. I'm out for me and mine. I die and live. That's another thing. Yeah. But when you're playing this game, sometimes you actually have to play this game.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly all it is.
Think of it like a game because it is.
And not to get weird.
We already did.
Not to get weird on you guys, but you'll see people that'll play with your signs and talk about your signs.
Yeah,
and be like a Virgo, be like, oh, you pay attention to every single detail.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna.
I do.
Yeah, I will pay attention to every single detail in person. Like if you say one thing, it could mean something. I do that, and that's uncontrollable. I got ADD. This all that.
Yes.
I can't physically or mentally stop it. Like I'll think about a lot of things. The hardest thing that I've ever had to do is just let shit go. Yeah, it's like once you figure out and you master that, where like okay, I'll give you an example. If I'm hitting on somebody or if I'm trying to make moves on somebody and they give me certain reactions, whatever, and good reactions one time, bad reactions the next. I'm all over the place. Like you've mentally fucked me up already.
It's a Katy Perry video. You're hot, then you're cold.
Yeah. So like you mentally like wrecked my life. So either I can do one or two things. I can either care about it and break it down to every single little detail and figure out what I could have done better. Yeah. And I may do that at some point. Okay. But I won't me over a period of time, I have learned not to keep continuously make the same mistakes over and over again. You fool me once,
Shame on you.
Yeah. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah. So, but that's kind of one of those things. You live and you learn. I'm older.
Yeah.
Fool me 3 times. Fuck the peace sign.
Yeah, no, the chop.
Yes, we're on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, sometimes it's the flex. I'm not saying diss. And when I say diss, and it's not like it's not tearing somebody down.
No.
But it's legit blowing past somebody that has like burnt you in a different way. Right? Like, just don't give them the time of day. If somebody's repetitively burning you and you decided, like, listen, I've had enough. Like, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
What you gonna do?
Well, like I said, if they sometimes they'll come up to you. Sometimes they'll come up to you and pretend like nothing's ever happened. You can make that move to be like, listen, nah, I'm done. See you later. And I think that's healthy for people to be doing.
People who do the same thing, expecting the same result.
Is
or a different result. It's definition of insanity.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's the broad version. People who fuck with the same people and know the way they are and yet still expect to change them or hope that they'll be different tomorrow is another definition of fucking insanity.
Yes, it is. So you can gauge who people or what people are about, how they are, based off of the friends they keep.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, all the friends they keep are the repetitive actions. If
Yes.
like you see somebody you witness, you take the time to actually pay attention. You see somebody's behavior. If you see it the first time, you're like, okay, maybe some shit goes on, whatever. So you see it the second time, okay, this is a pattern. All right, you can choose to keep following that pattern to see if it changes, which it won't, by the way.
Yeah,
like
no,
if it is a pattern, they're used to doing
it's
it.
there for a reason.
You
It's
can
called a
expect
pattern because it's a pattern.
because you know it's going to happen again. There's nothing you can do that's going to change it. You can like I said, we've discussed this. We discussed this at length. Like, I match effort. You give me effort, I'll give you effort. Like
we were talking about this earlier. So here's my thing, and this is how I do this thing when it comes to the opposite sex. You gotta get past the people in front of me, which is my friend, and 85% of them are female.
Oh yeah. Oh,
my best friend's a female. My right hand's a female.
Yeah, okay. So, and I'm the opposite gender, and majority of my friends are male.
Yeah.
Well, and Lily and I went through all this. Like, she knows my dating habits, and she knows my type, and it's usually insane. Usually, like
the type or
the type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's call it for what it is. I have a type, and it's crazy, and it's my favorite. I enjoy it a lot.
You're addicted to what you're addicted to.
We all are.
Addicted to my type.
No. We're all addicted to a little bit of crazy.
Oh yeah,
that's
you
what
have
makes
to
life-
be.
Because it makes shit fun.
Well, in the current climate, there's no such. You show me a sane person, I'll show you a potential serial killer.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Straight
Sure.
up. Who's sane in these days and times? Like, honestly, who's?
I
What
would-
person?
Why do you want to be sane in an insane world?
But how could you?
Yeah.
That shows the level of craziness of you.
And at the same time, your best hope right now is to catch the crazy early. Like, if they're up front and they can show me how psycho they are, like, hell, I can either work with it or I can't.
That's why we have the friends we have.
Exactly.
Because we trust our friends to let us know, hey, that's not going to work, or hey, there's red flags, or hey.
I hate this reference because it belittles what I'm about to say. If I'm sitting on the porch and you're sitting at my fence, you won't get past the pit bulls to the step if you ain't right.
No, yeah, and that's so true.
Now, again, the only reason I hate the reference is because these people are way worse than pit bulls.
Oh, yeah.
The way they can cut you, they don't have to touch you to cut you.
That's your front line.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't have to. They don't have to touch you for you to feel them. And that is a reflection on me because I'm that way when it's reversed. Yeah. If you are someone who likes one of my friends and she tells me you genuinely like her and we sit down face to face and we have to have that conversation, you better bring your A fucking game.
You know what's funny about this whole situation?
We actually just went through this.
Well, and not only that, we did. So there's a lot of situations where, like, I'll go on a first date, maybe a second date, and things will look intriguing. Mm-hmm. Things may be exciting. I'll be like, and I will tell whoever I'm like dating at the time or whatever, if I feel some type of way about it and I feel a little confident in it, I'll be like, listen, I'm gonna go out with my buddies this night. I would love for you to show up.
Yeah.
I swear to God, 9 times out of 10, they'll ditch.
They cancel.
Holy shit, because
they know what it is.
They know what
They
it
know
is.
what it is.
They do.
Look, when you tell a opposite sex person or whatever it is that you want them to, it's like meeting your parents.
Oh yeah.
In these days and times, it's like meeting your parents.
It's actually
I got
worse because
something.
they know your deepest, darkest secrets.
I got something. So, okay, y'all know my situation. And you know what I do. So, I told a potential, hey, like, this is my best friend. So, let's go out together. Then they bail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, these people, the fear factor that these people.
It's not even about baggage.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with baggage.
literally
It's
the
who
fear
you
that-
have as friends.
They're pit bulls.
Well,
Like I
not-
said, and that's
well,
why
not
I make
only
the
that,
reference.
Like they know what's coming. Like they know they're going through a job interview at this
Yeah,
point.
and they finna
Like,
hear some people say some things to them in a casual, very
Well,
non-casual way.
Well, and nobody wants to be exposed. Nobody wants that.
No.
But if you care about the person to that level, you're going to make that stride.
What is the first thing that person is gonna say?
Yeah.
You hurt my friend, I'll kill you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's the first thing. And if you hear it 3 times in one night, you're terrified.
Or what's the other one? You got to get past my best friend.
Yeah.
You'll either think of it as like, okay, this is a hurdle I'm willing
Yeah.
to jump.
Or you're like, I
I
ain't
ain't
doing
doing it. I'm
shit.
done.
Yeah.
Like,
That's it.
Yeah.
Because the people who care about me, when they see you, they have a certain liking to you.
Yes.
But they don't know you yet to like you more.
No, it's
that's
based
the-
off of
So they're
appearance.
going to like you based on I brought you to the table.
But-
now they're going to figure you out. And then they're going to come back to me. She survived. She alright.
We go through this a lot.
But if you're the person on the other side, like you're leading up to this, you need to keep in mind that if you make those strides to fuck up somebody's life,
Yeah.
it's not you that has to pick those pieces.
Exactly, it's
together.
these people.
It's those friends that's always been
Again,
there for.
what we're talking about here, we haven't even talked about doing. These are my A1 day ones.
Yes.
And again, what you have said to that female before the conversation, or should have said to her, was this: they're going to be here. They've been here before you. They're going to be here after you. Hopefully, you're here long enough that you're one of them at some point. This is what you say before. That way, when they walk in the door, they're not terrified and scared, and they come in with that confidence that you want them to come in with. That attracted you to them. In
I
the
love
first
this
fucking
conversation.
place.
Well, we've discussed it. I've discussed this with Lily Lavender on several occasions. We honestly, from the outside looking in, we have a spectacular relationship. Like she comes here almost every morning. We drink coffee. We discuss this. This is how we came to point B right
What
now.
do you mean from the outside looking in?
Well, hold on a second.
So,
Okay, heard.
So, like, and here's where it gets difficult, right? For me, if I'm getting in a relationship, which does make relationships difficult for me in particular, is going to be, listen, this is my routine. She's not being cut out. This is what we do. Right, so for a lot of women out there, and I feel like if it was on the other foot, yeah, it would be the same way. They would be completely uncomfortable with a friend or a woman from the opposite sex coming being there and having coffee and having these discussions with somebody every single morning or every other morning. Like that's a hard ask, but that's something about my life I'm not going to change.
But see, again, it's all about perspective. If I'm
this is intimidating.
but if I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, the thing he does every day, he's trying to ask me to be part of.
Yes. Oh my fucking God. Amen. I love you, Shock. And you already knew.
At that point, like if I'm wanting you to be a part of my life and be a part of that, like that's the golden key to my life.
But that's the short side of look versus the long side of look. The short side look is, oh, this nigga want me to have a drink with his bitch or his pit bull or his watchdog.
And it's not
the
even
long
like
term
that.
look is he got me doing what he does every day. What other bitch you know he got doing that other than this one?
Yeah.
And include yourself.
Exactly.
Like,
so
it's
if
not
I'm trying
that
to fuck with this
hard.
motherfucker, then I might as well get in on this because he could have said, "I want to meet you at McDonald's, bitch." Like in the ball pit. Like what the fuck? What the fuck? Like you don't see again. That is the missing the point of this. This man just said, "I want you to be a part of my routine every day that I do." Not I'm going to do something on the side that I don't do every day, and I'm making you special by bringing you into my everyday routine.
Yeah, it was that's
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's key in that conversation. I brought you.
But again, you heard.
How is that difficult to comprehend?
But it is.
And I'm going to keep bringing it back to age and what we've gone through when we were younger, because it is not the same anymore.
No, the game has changed.
And I've discussed it with Lily Lavender on extensive notes. Like what I'm looking for in life is my ride or die, and people say shit like that all the time.
And I've always explained that your friend circle, your inner circle, is your ride or die.
But at the same time, I've been blessed and cursed at the same time to bear witness to relationships that was real. My parents, 22 years, and I hope they're not listening. But 22 years, I've seen them both go to jail together. I've seen them go to church together. I've seen them live lives that's either praised or looked down upon in certain situations, certain scenarios. And in spite of all that, and then they've had the community, loads of people try to make them turn on each other, and no matter what, they're still together. And it's not even like it wasn't even flirted with the thought. They would be like, "No, never. That's my husband. No, never. That's my wife." She would never say that.
Never.
The confidence and that stuff, like it doesn't exist anymore.
No.
I mean, it does. It's different. It's different.
I don't know. I just don't. From my perspective, from my situation, I just don't have enough faith in somebody to just be like, you know what? If I'm going to jail tomorrow, I can't see somebody just being like, you know what?
Hell, you practically fucking did, and who was there?
That's not. I mean, that's the thing.
That's the problem.
We talk about movie references. You've seen The Town. When Ben Affleck walks in on Jeremy Piven, we're gonna hurt somebody. He said, "We're gonna hurt somebody. You can't ask me about this tomorrow." And the man looks at him and says, "Whose car are we taking?" If you ain't got people in your life like that or some version of that, again, this is my psychological exam for anybody in my life. What would you do for the person you care about the most?
Exactly.
And then you tell them immediately, there's no wrong answer. If you say, "Oh, I would bake a cake," or "I would do," that's fine. It's not everybody gonna say I'll bury the body or I put a bullet through somebody's face.
Or I found the spot.
Nobody's like that. Not everyone's like that. Not everybody has killed, murder in their life.
You and I had the exact same conversation. Well, not conversation, but scenario that played out with another friend of mine that I'd do anything in the world.
Yeah.
And what sucked is this situation happened in a group of people I would call friends, right? And I'm not if they're listening, I'm not dissing you. But this is my level of commitment. If I can, like you, I'll do anything in the world for you. You call me, I'll figure it out. I'll make it work.
Whoa.
Like we'll do something. But this friend was there, and because of who her family was, this other party hated her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Talking shit about her, and I was like, listen, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. And then accusations were made or whatever. But at the same time, like, listen, I'm going to go. Because I'm not going this is not my house. I'm not going to disrespect your house.
Right.
But I'm not going to be a party to a situation that is talking about somebody that I care about. Right. Like, and that same person, I'd still go up to bat for it.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody was talking shit about this one person, I'll do the exact same thing every single time. Yeah. But that's my commitment, my loyalty to that friend, and and my friendship is with certain people is real tight, and that circle is real tight, and it has to be for those reasons.
All this to be said in what we're saying, and that's why I want to say what I'm about to say. We're not getting off topic here. This is all wrapped up into what we're talking about. You talk about game. Game has to do with the fact that you can have that faith and that belief and that friendship and that camaraderie with the people around you. They are part of this. Because if I'm trying to holler at Shorty got to meet these people.
Yeah.
If she don't get along with these people, it's going to be very hard for me to date her. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how smart she is. I don't care how funny she is. If she can't get down with the people I fuck with since if I got 20-year friends and you come to my life, I'm not going to fuck my 20-year friends over for a piece of ass that might be in my life for 5 minutes.
No.
That's as real as I can put it. Now, you could last me a lifetime. You could be my wife. But in order to be that, you still got to be down with these people in some shape, form, or fashion. I'm not leaving them.
Because I'm not going to have a relationship with someone who cannot get down with my friends.
Exactly.
And
And I'm not talking about random friends. I'm talking about the motherfuckers I go to when I need to lay my head in somebody's lap and fucking cry.
Exactly.
Like the realest people, not just some motherfuckers I go to the bars with or some motherfuckers I talk shit to. The motherfuckers that hold me down. When my mom died, it's only 3 people I told. Like, yo, this is what it is. One was like, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Second was like, put your head in my lap and just do what you gotta do. Yeah. Like, this is what I hold on to. This is what keep me grounded and sane. Mm-hmm. So if I gotta talk about the game I play and how I'm good at, if I can pull a piece of ass or whatever you want to call it, this has to do with it as well. It's the confidence that these motherfuckers got my back to the death of me. That it makes me be like, hey, man, what's up? Yeah. Without no hesitation.
And I'm not, and at the same time, I'm not expecting like a friend not to be a friend, or like to kind of get their little side words in. So in a situation, if my friends know that my intention is just to hook up and that's it.
Yeah.
And my friends like do a little side work and be like, listen, you're cool and all, but it's not going to pass tonight. That's just kind of where, that's kind of the whole situation. So, but guys, thank y'all so much. It's been a whole lot of fun. I've had a blast, and
we are going to follow this up with another episode.
It's no joke. We could go on this for days, but we're going to do Riz game very, very soon, women version, and then we will do.
I might sit in on the women version just to hear what we got.
And preview.
Exactly.
Yes. We'll talk about that.
All right, yeah.
Anyway, so we're obviously really excited. We'll do the women's version next week, and then we'll do Battle of the Sexes very soon.
We'll be here for that shit. Most definitely.
We're all ready, guys. Thank you so much. We love y'all. Stay tuned in for another episode.